submissions too. We love you guys. This is from Chris Lamb. Brendan. So just so you guys know, I don't go over the questions. This is in real time, so whatever is said is said. So we'll see how this goes. But it's Patreon, so you guys are awesome. All right. Chris Lamb says, Brendan, whenever Bryan cuts you off as soon as you start telling a story, do you ever just want to punch him right in his big fat nose sometimes? I want to do it for you. We all know he's just getting ready to tell us about how he has a billionaire best friend. Oh, boy. I mean, I'm also guilty of cutting Bryan off because sometimes the stories can be so boring. So I'm guilty of it, too. I think me and Bryan just got to do a better job. Somehow we lost our way where, it's improv 101, where it's yes, end. So it's like if I tell a story or vice versa, if he tells a story, the point of the story isn't for you to make it about yourself or, or relate it to a billionaire friend you have, which I don't know how many billionaires are in America, but there's no way Bryan's friends with all of them. I mean, if someone were to go back through all the episodes of Finding the Kid and track how many times Bryan has claimed this guy's a billionaire, I mean, there's 40 billionaires. I don't even think you look at Forbes, there's 40 billionaires, so something's not adding up. There's not that many billionaires. But to your point, yeah, we just got to do a better job of improv and yes and asking questions, like asking questions about the stories and stuff like that, being more into what the other's saying. We both struggle with it. But, yeah, it's very frustrating on both ends, I think, for both of us. We just got to do better. TJ Waldschmidt. Love the show. I've been listening for about 8 years. You've also been a great inspiration of being a better dad. Oh, thanks, dude. I try. Nick says, Bryan, when Bryan passes, do you taxidermy him and continue the podcast? I bet it's a better podcast. Dude. No, we freeze him like Walt Disney. Tom, for each UFC weight class, who do you think will be champion come the Moisier says, can you please stop Bryan if he shows up in flip-flops and shows his old wrinkled feet on TFAT again? Yeah, he's doing a little better. I think somebody who he respects told him not to dress like that, so he's been doing a little better. I've told him for 10 years not to dress like that, but I think he's starting to figure it out. Jerry Ontivero says, why not bring back Dropping Knowledge segment? Fun facts, events, politics. Bryan was enjoying doing them pretty clearly. I think a lot of us would like those conversations as we mature with the pod. For that, I think it's what's wrong with Firing the Kid. I think we've gotten too serious, and I think all Bryan does is drop knowledge, which is part of our problem. It's just not what we do. So fun facts, historical events, politics, it's just not what we do. It's not why you guys came to the show. But I think Bryan has his own podcast where he does a lot of that bullshit. Yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you. Mark Newman says, you and Bryan have to set it up and try curling. You and Bryan versus Chin and Nick. Agree, that'd be sick.
I'll definitely look up if there's any curling areas around here.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'd love to try it, but I need to figure it out, It looks, we think it's easy, but I bet it's super difficult. Mark Newman also says, his avatar is a cute kid, so I assume that's his son. Mm-hmm. Mark Newman says, what is wrong with Bryan? Do you think he has Alzheimer's? He doesn't know anything and always just spouts out wrong information like the other week when he was blown away that the halftime show at the Super Bowl performers don't get paid. Even my wife, who's never watched a game in her life, lives in the middle of the desert in Australia, knows that. When it comes to sports and like the stuff like that, I just don't think it's on his radar. It's not that he's dumb or he has Alzheimer's. He's thinking of, fucking American history or some shit or something he heard on a podcast. But if they don't cover that stuff, where would he get it? He's not like the biggest sports guy. He barely watches UFC. Nick Winkowski. Nick Winowski. Brendan, getting clean from alcohol is always the easy part. Staying clean for an extended period of time seems to be the struggle. Ooh, I disagree. What do you do to keep sober from booze? Do you ever get urges to get fucked up anymore? What do you do in those moments of weaknesses? Well, Nick, see, I think the hardest part is getting clean, starting it. And then staying clean is easy because you feel so much better. You don't realize how bad alcohol is for you till you're not doing it. And they're like, oh my God, I can't imagine going back to that, you know.
Brendan Schaub goes off on Bryan Callen. So Schaub hates Callen and vice versa. He said something during that was very interesting. Now, that question where the guy was like, can you tell Bryan to stop with the flip-flops? And Schaub says, someone who Bryan respects must have told him to stop because I've been telling him for 10 years and he hasn't listened. So Schaub is at the point to where he hates Callen so much and he's like, this guy doesn't even respect me. You can hear Chin in the background keep going, oof. This was the same Q&A, by the way. The last one Schaub did. This was the one where he got into the argument with Chin about whether or not they want to keep Bryan on the podcast. And the way things have gone since, the answer is obviously no, as Schaub has now separated the Schaub show from the Fighter and the Kid Patreon. So like this Q&A is on the Fighter and the Kid Patreon. The next one Schaub does is just going to be on his Schaub show Patreon, and Callen has no involvement with that. The process has already begun of him getting rid of Bryan Callen. So now all the paid stuff is going to be under Schaub's banner. The Fighter and the Kid, him doing that podcast with Callen, is now just a technicality. The second they set up that Schaub show Patreon, he's already said all the fan questions are going over there. He's doing more Schaub shows. Fake Landau is going to be part of it. So, like, he's probably not even going to promote the Fighter and the Kid Patreon anymore. He's probably just going to promote his Patreon while he's on the podcast with Bryan Callen. So that's going to be awkward until it's officially over and they come up with whatever reason as to why it's going to be separated. But Schaub is probably going to be the one who's going to pull the plug, mainly because Callen's kind of forcing him to, as much as everything truly is Schaub's fault. Callen is kind of acting like a bitch in the thing of Callen just won't quit. So now he's putting Schaub kind of in a position where Schaub like has to do this because Callen just doesn't care. He doesn't care, nor should he, but he is kind of being a bitch and forcing Schaub to have to do these moves. Where he should just be a man, tell Schaub I'm done, then go start his own shit and then shit on Schaub and blow up. That's what Callen should do, but he won't do it. But now he's just in this situation where they both hate each other. Schaub is completely done with him. He doesn't like him. He doesn't like the show. He doesn't like the vibe of it. It's O&A all over again. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.